Yeah, it's now time for the Real Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to April 15th, the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were in Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins and close out the regular season schedule. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his line combinations and defensive pairings in the following way. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Zucker, Sissons, and Jankowski, Beauvillier, Novak, Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood make up your fourth line. McDonough and Yossi, Luzon and Fabro, Stastny and Shannon your defensive pairings, and UC Saros gets the start in net. We're a minute and 22 seconds into this game, and it's UC Saros coming with a save on Rust. It's the first shot on goal of the game at the 2:15 mark of the first period. Nedeljkovic coming with a save on Colton Sissons. That's the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators. At 3:10, Velkovic follows up with a save on Evangelista's backhand. The 4:43 mark of the first period now, UC Saros comes with a save on Carlson, plus the follow-up by Russ at the 5:20 mark of the first period. We find our first special teams scenario as Shen puts the puck over the glass, getting a 2-minute penalty for delay of game. It would appear that Bunting scores his 20th goal right here on the power play with some net front jam, but that net front jam ends up being challenged for interference. The goal is overturned and taken off the board. 57 seconds of the power play is put back on the board, and it is the Penguins going back to work. Sidney Crosby wastes almost no time cashing back in on that power play. His 42nd goal of the season. UC Saros stopped the initial shot. The puck leaks through, and as it's just inches from the goal line, Sidney Crosby dives from behind the net and then gets to the puck before anybody else can. His 42nd of the season cashes into the power play for the Pens. Pittsburgh leads 1-0 here in the first period. At the 7:33 mark of the first period, Saros coming with a save on Eller. At 8:18 of the first period, it's Saros coming with a save on O'Connor. 10:25, just past the halfway point of the first period. Nedeljkovic comes up with a save on Cole Smith's backhand. At the 11:44 mark of the first period, Saros comes with a glove save on Carlson. 12:49, Nedeljkovic a save on Luzon's long shot. And then 13:50 of the first, it's Carlson, his 11th goal of the season. A long, heavy shot eludes UC Saros and finds its way into the back of the net. The Pittsburgh Penguins lead 2-0. At the 14:21 mark of the first period, Sissons is off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Saros comes up with a save on Carlson, and then Letang appears to have cashed in on this Penguins power play. A long shot with Eller setting the screen, but this again is challenged due to goaltender interference, and it is again overturned, and the goal is taken off of the board. Put 1 second back on that Penguins power play and listen to that crowd boo. 18:52 now of the first period. Saros coming with a save on Rust, plus the follow-up by Sidney Crosby. We hit the end of the first period where it should be 4-0 in favor of the Penguins. It's 2-0, and the Penguins are out shooting the Nashville Predators 20-5. We go into the second period onto the clean sheet. We find ourselves at 2:23 of the period in our first action when Nedeljkovic comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg at 3:05 of the second period. Nedeljkovic comes up with a save on Beauvillier. 4:03 of the second, Nedeljkovic comes with a save on McDonough. The Nashville Predators coming out pressing here at the beginning of the second period. At the 4:30 mark of the second, UC Saros comes with a save on Smith off of the rush. At the 5:17 mark of the second period now, UC Saros comes with a save on Rust and his hard drive to the net. 6:08 mark of the period, Nedeljkovic back to work, coming with a save on Luke Evangelista's wrist shot. At 7:24 of the second period, the Nashville Predators are going to break through on the scoreboard. It's Nyquist and his 23rd goal of the season. It comes via some rebound jam there in the hard areas, getting the Predators on the board with their first goal. Pittsburgh, though, still leads overall 2-1. And less than a minute later, at 8:21 of the second period, Smith is going to reinstall that 2-goal lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins with his 13th goal of the season. The captain, Roman Josi, blocked a shot, seemed to be injured. He would leave, but come back relatively quickly. So stunned, not injured, would be the better word. That left a little bit of room out there, and everybody was concerned about the captain at this moment in time. Smith takes advantage of that brief pause in the action to pounce. 13th goal of the season gives the Pens a 3-1 lead at their home rink. Just past the halfway point of this game now at 11:14 of the second period. It's Nedeljkovic coming up with a save on Yossi. So Yossi went out at 8:21 of the second, back in there on his regular shift by 11:14. So didn't miss much time at all at 13:36 of the second period. Jankowski and Pierre-Olivier off to the box. 2 minutes for roughing. They had a hell of a wrestling match out there on the ice. This leads to a 4-on-4 scenario. No scoring during this situation. We return to 5-on-5 play, and at 16:43 of the second period, Nedeljkovic comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg at 17:36 of the second period. Forsberg would get his revenge on Nedeljkovic, though, by beating him with a wrist shot from the circle for his 48th goal of the season. That makes this game now much more interesting, as the Penguins only have a 1-goal lead, 3-2, as we're getting in the waning moments of the second period. 18:06 into the second period. Now Zucker is off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Saros comes up with a save on Malkin, and then Saros comes up with a save on Rust. And we hit the end of the second period, so the Nashville Predators able to reverse the momentum from the first period, gain some momentum in the second period, and make this a 1-goal game going into the third period. Let's flip the sheet over and find out how things are going to go. We're 27 seconds into this here third period on the clean sheet of ice, and it's Nedeljkovic coming with a save on Rust. And 1:44 of the third period, Saros coming up with a save on Raquel at the 2:42 mark of the third period. It's Bemstrom getting his 8th goal of the season. It was a weak side one-timer, and it beat UC Saros clean. The Penguins back with a 2-goal lead now, leading 4-2 early in this here third period. At the 3:08 mark of the third period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Sidney Crosby. 5:21 of the third, Nedeljkovic comes up with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. 6:24, Nedeljkovic is back to work. He comes up with a save on Luzon on the wraparound, plus the rebound follow-up by Sissons. This led to a bit of a scramble, but it was Nedeljkovic able to hold the line and not give up a goal in this situation. Now, at the 6:31 mark, kind of a benign moment in the game, Zucker gets pointed to on the bench and said to go over to the box. He receives a 10-minute misconduct for abuse of official. We wouldn't get that notation on the conduct until quite a bit later. Again, it was a very quiet moment in the game, and nobody really indicated what had happened, and nobody really caught on the broadcast what had happened either. So at 6:31, Zucker off to the box, 10-minute misconduct. That does not affect the manpower on the ice, so we'll remain at 5-on-5 hockey. At 7:09 of the third period, though, Smith is off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking, putting the Penguins on a power play. The Predators' penalty kill would be outstanding, giving up 0 shots on goal against. At the 9:25 mark of the third period, it's Beauvillier off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. UC Saros would come up with a save on Crosby, and then Saros would also come up with an incredible save on Letang, sliding across to the back post. UC Saros made a couple of really strong saves in this game. This might have been his strongest overall. We're at the 13:53 mark now of the third period, back to 5-on-5 hockey, and it is Nedeljkovic coming up with a save on Jankowski, and the game itself is starting to slow down pace-wise as the Nashville Predators realizing they're just mere minutes from the end of the regular season. So at 15:58 of the third, we do have one piece of business left to take care of, and that is Luzon getting a hit on Ricard Raquel. That is the NHL record-breaking hit for most hits in a single season. So congratulations to Jeremy Luzon. He needed 8 coming into the game. He ends up setting the record. Talk about that more here in a little bit. At the 19:33 mark of the third period, I told you things slowed down a little bit. Nedeljkovic comes up with a save on Beauvillier, and that is going to be the Nashville Predators' final shot on goal for the regular season. Beauvillier stopped by Nedeljkovic. Pittsburgh scores 4 in this game. The Nashville Predators score 2. Those 2 goals also help the team equal its all-time season total in goals scored, which means the best offensive season in franchise history. The Pittsburgh Penguins win this game 4-2. They do outshoot the Nashville Predators. I forgot to write down the shot count, but don't worry, it'll appear somewhere up here, and it'll be correct. I'll look that up, and I'll put it on here. So the Nashville Predators lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-2. It was interesting. It was a one-goal game in the third period for a minute, but for the Nashville Predators, they did not have nearly as much to play for as Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh Penguins playoff life on the line in this one, and frankly, the Nashville Predators probably shouldn't have even started UC Saros in this game, and seeing Roman Josi block a shot and leave the ice injured ever so briefly was a panic-inducing moment in itself. But for the Nashville Predators, Phil Forsberg goes and gets one more goal. The team scores 2 to get to that record. Luzon gets the hits record, and the regular season comes to its logical conclusion. The Preds finish in 4th place in the Central Division. They'll await their playoff matchup. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. That's it for the regular season, but we've still got more to go right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.